Most people think attention creates attraction, that the more you show interest, the more someone will value you. The more you give, the stronger the connection becomes. And at the beginning, it feels true. You reply fast, you engage, you show interest, and everything seems to work. The conversation flows. There is energy, there is connection, there is momentum, and because it feels right, you continue. You give more attention, more time, more presence, without questioning it. But slowly, something starts to change. Not suddenly, not in a way that's obvious, but in small shifts, subtle differences. Her replies get shorter, less frequent, less engaged, and you feel it, that slight change in energy, that small drop in connection. And without realizing it, you respond the wrong way. You give more attention, more effort, more presence, trying to bring things back to how they were. But that's exactly what makes it worse. Because attention only has value when it is not guaranteed, when it is selective, when it is felt as something earned, not something constant. And the moment your attention becomes constant, it loses its weight, because there is no contrast, no space, no absence. And without absence, there is nothing to feel, nothing to miss, nothing to think about. Because attraction is not built on constant presence. It is built in the space between moments, in the pause between messages, in the time where someone is not sure when they will hear from you again. That uncertainty creates tension, and that tension creates emotional engagement. But when you remove that, when you are always there, always available, always giving, the dynamic changes. Because now, your attention is expected, it is predictable, it is constant, and anything that is constant loses perceived value. Not because it is bad, but because it requires no effort to receive. And people don't value what comes without effort, not consciously, but emotionally. So the more you give, the less it is felt. And the less it is felt, the less impact it has. And the less impact it has, the less value it creates. And that's where the shift happens. Not because you did something wrong, but because you remove the conditions that make attention valuable. So what do most men do at this point? They try harder. They give even more. They double down, thinking that more effort will bring the connection back. But that only accelerates the loss. Because now, it's not just attention, it's pressure. And pressure never creates attraction. It destroys it, quietly, without confrontation, without explanation. Because pressure is felt, in your timing, in your consistency, in your need to maintain interaction. And that need is what removes value completely. Because now, your attention is not a choice, it's a reaction. And reactions are always weaker than choices, because they come from need, not from control. And that difference is everything. So what actually creates value? It's not giving more, it's giving less, but with intention. It's not constant presence, it's selective presence. It's not replying instantly every time. It's allowing space, not as a strategy, but as a natural result of having your own focus, your own priorities, your own life. Because when your attention is not constantly available, it becomes noticeable. It becomes something that is felt when it's there, and noticed when it's not. And that creates contrast. And contrast creates emotion. And emotion creates attraction. But this only works if it's real. Not if you are pretending to be busy. Not if you are forcing distance. Because forced behavior is always visible. Always. People feel when something is not natural. So the goal is not to reduce attention artificially. It's to stop overgiving it. To stop making it constant. To stop making it predictable. Because the moment your attention becomes predictable, it loses power. And power is what creates value. Not dominance. Not control over someone, but control over yourself. Control over when you engage, how you engage, and how much you invest. Because when you control your attention, you control your presence. And your presence is what people feel. Not your words, not your messages, but your energy. And when your energy is constant, it becomes background noise. But when it is selective, it becomes impactful. And that impact is what creates value. So if you feel like she is losing interest, don't look at what you said. Look at how you showed up. Look at how often, how consistently, how predictably. Because most of the time, the problem is not lack of effort, it's excess of it. And excess is what destroys value. Not because effort is bad, but because value comes from balance, from contrast, from space. And when you remove those elements, you remove the emotional experience. And without emotional experience, there is no attraction, only interaction. And interaction without emotion never lasts. So the next time you feel like giving more, pause. Not as a tactic, but as awareness. Ask yourself, Is this adding value or removing it? Because most people never ask the question. They just give, and in giving too much, they lose everything. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but slowly, quietly, without realizing it.